For us, My 600-Pound Life may just be another reality TV entertainment show, but for the people who appear on it, it is a leap to deal with their problems and grow into better versions of themselves. Trauma is a dilemma that, if left unaddressed, can manifest itself in monstrous ways. While some seek medical help or practice meditation or yoga, others take the opposite route and seek temporary solutions that end in disaster. And it has the potential to shatter you into pieces. So, in today's video, we'll look at some of the times when patients on the show broke down. Stuck in the car.
Back hurts, my knees hurt, my feet hurt. The only thing that keeps me going is all the food we just bought.
David Nelson was 30 years old when he began his weight loss quest with the show. When his episode began, we were not even sure how much the poor guy weighed. The Idaho native's range of motion was limited, his morbidity had taken its toll on his back, and he was in excruciating pain. As a result, he had been on a variety of drugs. He, too, had breathing issues, and he needed to sleep with a breathing machine at night. But that was not the worst thing to watch. Nelson's problems began when he was a small child. As a result of the trauma of never having a secure home or even loving parents, food became his only real source of comfort. His mother was a drug addict who gave birth to him at the age of 13, and his father was never around. Nelson's rough upbringing had us in pieces, but it was even more painful to watch him break in his attempt to turn his life around. As when the poor dude tried to get into his car to get to Houston, he got stuck, which made us cry our eyes out, even though we were starting to crumble in our seats at home. Watching him jammed in his car, for him, it was a life-changing experience. That particular scenario had the potential to make or break you. So Nelson decided that he had had enough and he wanted to shed his ballooned body. However, it's easier said than done, as he fell short of his weight loss goal and never made it to surgery.
I'm stuck.
You're killing yourself.
Eat your snacks, because this is what it is. You know what this is right here? All these little things right here in this bag.
So far, we've seen all kinds of couples on the show. They were people who actually loved each other, couples who didn't really love each other, the fat fetish one, the caretakers, and even the abusers. Yep, we can pretty much say we've seen everything in My 600-Pound Life's world. Well, the good thing is that Lindsay and Paul truly fell in love with each other. This is why their fans still adore them. 39-year-old Lindsay came on with her husband Paul in season 8 of the show. But unfortunately, her relationship with her husband was overshadowed by her morbidity. Lindsay had a nice life with a lovely home and a wonderful husband, a good job, a caring mother, and wonderful friends. But after realizing that her weight could jeopardize everything, including her life, she sought Dr. Now to work on her health. But simply asking a doctor to assist you in losing weight is insufficient. You must also make an effort on your own, which was not a task for her because she kept chugging the same junk that was killing her. And the worst part was that she didn't realize it was also hurting her husband, who was terrified of losing his wife. We even heard the poor guy scream, "You're killing yourself," because he'd had enough of her eating herself to death. Paul, on the other hand, had his own demons to overcome, as he struggled with low-level alcohol addiction and was short-tempered and impatient. Therefore, she left him behind and went to Houston all alone to focus on her treatment. Lindsay had gastric sleeve surgery when she was in her 20s, but by the time she arrived in her 30s, she had gained all of the weight back. She stayed strong and optimistic, determined to regain her health, and followed Dr. Now's 1,200-calorie diet, which eliminated carbs and sugar. She added a new exercise routine to her schedule and was pleasantly surprised by the results. Lindsay, who weighed 647 pounds when she started, lost 209 pounds in a year and is now 438 pounds. Her gastric bypass surgery was approved.
This is what I will do. Since you lost 82 pounds, I want to appeal for surgery.
My dad let me down.
This point, I'm killing myself if I don't get this weight off.
Mercedes, a mother of two, was putting her life in jeopardy due to her eating habits and way of life. The 37-year-old was also jeopardizing the safety of her two children. She weighed 773 pounds and was suffering from severe lymphedema at the time. Mercedes was bedbound as a result of her weight, and she relied on her extended family to raise her children. Yes, an Ohio native did not have a good parenting record, but how can you blame someone who grew up without a good role model for parents, as she was a victim of bad parenting herself? Mercedes' eating habits and addiction were revealed to be the result of childhood trauma on the show. Her father had raped her on numerous occasions since she was 11 years old. Since they were children, she and her sisters had been abused on a regular basis. While telling this, Mercedes sobbed like a child while saying that her father really let her down.
My dad let me down. All of it down.
Mercedes turned to food for comfort and solace as she dealt with what happened to her. As she grew in size, however, the roles in her household shifted, and the children were forced to take care of their mother instead of the other way around. She only lost 81 pounds by the end of the episode, which was less than the weight required to qualify for Dr. Now's gastric bypass surgery.
I love you too.
I can't fit.
I flop and flip and push myself with my cane because it's too hard on my shoulders anymore to do it with my arms.
Kirsten Perez thought she'd hit rock bottom, but the problems just kept piling up. As she recovered from her drug addiction, the former drug addict and mother of two saw her weight rise to 600 pounds, but she continued to suffer the consequences of her poor eating habits and addictive tendencies. Perez was first introduced to us in season 5. Her 612-pound weight made it nearly impossible for her to function and live a normal life. And when you add in her lack of confidence, life was difficult for her. Her compulsive and unsupportive family also did nothing to help her, as they revealed on the show. He realized that the trauma she suffered as a result of the incident is the reason she's in this situation now, the incident being gang raped when she was 17 years old. But what really got Perez stir-crazy was when her mom, Chris McKee, suggested going to a yard sale, so Perez tried to get out of the house and into the car, waiting just outside the door for the first time in a month. She tried to push herself in and got clogged, and when she tried to get out, even though that seemed impossible, she had no option but to cry about what she had done to herself. Thankfully, Kirsten followed Dr. Now's advice and sought help from psychiatrist Lola Clay. Kirsten's therapy sessions assist her in moving forward, and she is then eligible for gastric sleeve surgery, which will help her lose a lot of weight.
Go to sleep and not wake up.
We need to protect Kirsten against herself.
Betty Jo.
I'm getting some people out here!
Betty Jo Elmore relocated to Houston with Josh, her husband, to seek help from Dr. Now. When she first appeared on the show, Betty weighed 654 pounds. Betty was struggling, and her husband was assisting her with almost everything, including her sanitary requirements, which made her think if she was with Josh for love or the need of being dependent on him. Betty was seen sobbing over her marriage and her desire to have a child and be part of a normal family. However, she was able to reduce her weight to 445 pounds by following the good doctor's advice. Betty adhered to a strict diet and exercise regimen. Her progress was halted, however, due to a health issue. Elmore found out she was expecting a child, and doctors discovered a large bone mass on her spine. Betty had been warned that the mass could cause paralysis, but there was no way to operate on it or remove it until after the baby was born. Her weight loss program was naturally hampered by her frequent visits to the hospital. Betty, on the other hand, was concerned about the safety of her baby. Betty resumed her weight loss efforts after the birth of her son, Preston, in 2016. She made the decision to get back on track and achieved her weight loss goal.
Now somebody to help me say no.
Before we go on to the last person on our list, we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's video, as well as if you have any other favorite shows that you'd like to see on our channel. You are costing me my surgery.
Because my health is so bad now, I never know when my body's gonna hit its limit. And it's only getting worse.
We saw Maja with her boyfriend Christian in season 7. Her episode kicks off with her struggling, not with just weight, but also with her relationship. We already knew she suffered from abandonment issues, which drove her to seek solace in food, which is why she treated Christian so shabbily because of her fear. Maya attributes her obesity to her parents' divorce, which occurred when she was about 2 years old. Her father then abandoned her family, further complicating matters. But still, perhaps the most controversial aspect of Maya's episode was her boyfriend Christian, who traveled with her to Houston and Dr. Now's help. It seemed fairly clear that Christian was not enthusiastic about appearing on camera, something that didn't improve once Maja started blaming Christian for her inability to reach her weight loss goals. Maja then broke down on screen, screaming at Christian that he was costing her her surgery because he was not supporting and compassionate enough, causing her to eat more and cheat on her diet, whereas Christian sat speechless, more like motionless. Maja had lost 100 pounds by the end of her episode, but Christian had broken up with her, and Maja seemed unwilling to work with Dr. Now any longer.
I hate you! I hate you for doing this to me, Christian! Why can't you just answer the questions?
Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.